We made it through another week of quarantine and we are almost hopefully at the end of the tunnel. I can sort of see the light and I am optimistic. Here we are yet again on Sophia Eats Pizza, learning how to adult one post at a time. And this week's topic, it's not necessarily learning how to adult, it's just learning how to stay positive. We are currently going through a pandemic. Obviously, you all knew that unless you're living under a rock, although you should be living only in your house because we're all supposed to be quarantining. I hope you're doing it. So my goal this month has been to be more positive and convince you all and myself that we are all going to be okay, because we are going to be okay. It was really difficult to accept the situation because obviously not only is there the fear of unemployment, the fear of how am I going to pay my rent, there's also the fear of can I catch a virus when I go grocery shopping. There's so many different factors here that have caused lots of anxiety in my life and in a lot of other people's lives. How do we deal with all of this? How do we cope with our fear? As humans, I think more than bad news, we feel uncertainty because you get just that sense of panic of what if, and you jump to all of the worst what if possibilities, and you just kind of mind yourself. I am not a psychologist, I am not a doctor. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings with this video. I am talking about myself. But I'm talking to anyone who doesn't feel like they're necessarily at the point where they need meds, but they're kind of like, I don't know how to process all of this. I don't know how to cope with my fears. I was at that same space a few weeks ago, and these are the things that really helped me. I think sometimes we actually like to live in anxiety and fear and depression, not because we enjoy those feelings, but because those feelings are intoxicating. They hold on to you and you get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. And a lot of the times we don't want to do the internal work to escape those fears. We don't want to because it's hard. We want a magic pill. We want to get high, or in my case, drink all of the wine and escape our problems, escape our fears and anxiety. But if you are willing to come on this journey with me of things that have helped me, I can't promise you that you will be life is amazing, everything is great, run a marathon happy, but I do think that it can help you because it has helped me. I am in such a better headspace than I was when all of this started, and I don't want to be insensitive to anyone's pain. I have to admit that I'm coming from a place of privilege in the sense that I have not lost my entire savings because my business has gone bust, or I haven't had a family member die. So I apologize if at any point I say something that triggers anyone because that is not my intention. My favorite quote is, I am just a spiritual being going through a physical experience. And a pandemic is a very physical experience. These are my tips and I hope that you find them helpful. Self-reflect. I think most of us are going through life on autopilot mode and we feel all of the feels, but we don't stop to ask ourselves, why am I feeling all of these feelings? What is actually going on in my head? What is happening that is causing me to feel all of that? And this is part of what makes therapy so amazing. You have someone probing you and asking you to think about why you feel the way you feel. I love to do this with journaling. Every morning, my first question is, how am I feeling and why do I feel that way? When you take the time to understand your feelings and the root of your feelings, you have a better chance of controlling those fears and anxiety. So for me, my question was, why am I feeling anxious? Well, I'm feeling anxious because I don't know what's coming. Why is it bad that you don't know what's coming? And then I answer, well, because I don't know how I'm going to pay rent or if I'm going to have a job in the future. And then I ask myself, well, is there anything that you can do about this? Yes or no? And if there is anything I can do about it, then I start jotting down what I can do. And if there is nothing I can do about it, then I tell myself, why are you worrying about something that is completely out of your control? When you take the time to analyze your problems and your situation, you come up with answers. Sometimes those answers are completely simple, like, girl, let it go. You have no way of controlling the situation. And then sometimes they're really complex, like, well, here is a list of online jobs that you can find. But at least you know where to go from there. And that is the power of self-reflection. Wake up with intention. I have an entire video on how to become a morning person. I'm gonna link it down here for you guys. And basically, at the beginning of the pandemic, I would wake up and read the news and feel depressed, and then go on social media and feel even more depressed about what everyone was saying. And this was a habit that I had kind of broken, and I slipped back into that negative headspace. So I had to force myself to stop. To be honest, it seemed very difficult for me to wake up and go meditate, like what a joke. But I remembered that this routine has pulled me out of lots of bad headspaces in the past. So if I could just force myself to come back to it, I knew that it would make a difference. And the way I did that is, as soon as I woke up, I repeated to myself, I am going to do my morning routine. I'm going to do my morning routine. And eventually I would make it to my couch, and I would sit with my AirPods in and some binaural beats, which I'm also gonna link for you guys down here, and do a 5-minute meditation of just inhale, exhale. Nothing crazy, just trying to silence all of those frantic thoughts. And then I would drink a big glass of water and make myself a coffee and journal for 15 to 30 minutes. And basically I would just fill 3 pages worth of thoughts. And at the end of my journaling, I would write a list of 10 things I am grateful for. After my gratitude list, I would do some positive affirmations, and I would make a to-do list. So things that I wanted to accomplish during the day. And the truth is, I don't accomplish all of those things every day. I don't accomplish half of them sometimes. But it's okay, because at least I now have an intention for what I want to do, as opposed to just lying in bed. Sometimes it's just cook banana bread. But having a plan for your day helps you get excited about things. When you start your morning off positively, you are more likely to have a positive day, and the goal is to have more good days than bad days. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is the one thing that has completely changed my life. Regardless of how bad a situation is, I always think to myself, what do I have to be grateful for? When you realize how much you have to be grateful for, your entire mindset changes, because you understand how fortunate you actually are. There are so many things that we take for granted every day, and if you just take that moment to feel that gratitude, it completely lifts you up, and you realize, wow, I love my couch. I didn't realize how lucky I was to have this couch. So it's just those little things. I promise you, if every day you start your morning by just listing 10 things that you are grateful for, you will automatically feel happier. Cognitive reframing. So gratitude is actually, I think, a type of cognitive reframing, and cognitive reframing is a strategy that therapists use to help their patients look at situations from a different perspective. I love this concept because it pushes you outside of your comfort zone. Admittedly, it is very hard to completely leave your perspective, but once you get into the habit of looking at situations from a different lens, then it becomes instinctual. One of my favorite examples on the internet right now is, you are not stuck at home, you are safe at home. And basically what we have done there is taken this seemingly negative situation and turned it into a positive. I know that a lot of people don't like to hear this, but there is always a way to see the positive side. And if you are willing to ask yourself that question, then you will always see the silver lining. I'm constantly putting myself in the situation where I say, how is this bad thing actually a good thing? And sometimes it's really hard to see the good, but it is always, always there. You have to be willing to work with yourself. I know that a recession could be coming, and I'm starting to think, okay, well, how could a recession actually be good for me? It will teach me money management. It will encourage me to look for different income sources. It could bring me closer to my friends and family. There are no such thing as problems, just challenges to overcome. And it is hard to feel that way when you're in despair, but if you take the time to sit with your thoughts and ask yourself, how is X actually good? How is Y actually good? You will start to see some good aspects. But even if you don't necessarily find the good thing, you might end up laughing at yourself for being absolutely ridiculous with your answer. So for example, I have asked myself, well, how is it a good thing that I can't actually see my boyfriend for I don't know how long? And I'm realizing, well, it's a good thing because we get to have lots of fun creatively coming together, like cooking together on FaceTime. I never thought I would be doing that, and it's something that I really enjoyed, and it has made me appreciate him so much more. There are good things there, I promise. You just have to keep looking for that silver lining. Get some fresh air. The sun is your friend. Vitamin D is good for your immune system. Yes, businesses are shut and festivals are canceled and 2020 might be canceled as a whole, but the sun is still there, and every day that the weather permits, I make sure that I get outside to get some vitamin D and inhale just some good clean air, because the air is cleaner now that there are less cars out there. It is almost impossible to not feel better when you are getting that sunshine, although I do suggest wearing sunscreen and a hat and maybe not being outside too long because you will burn. Take actions to feel prepared. Throughout this pandemic, one of the most beneficial things that I have been able to do is sit down via FaceTime with my disaster planning boyfriend and plan for the worst. I am not someone who generally panic buys or worries about the future, but him sitting me down and helping me build my disaster budget and buying a few essentials in the event of the worst case scenario really eased a lot of my anxiety. I now know, worst case scenario, I have a giant ass bag of rice and beans that will get me through a month. I have candles, I have a flashlight, I have a Brita filter. I have a lot of essentials that make me feel secure in the worst case scenario. And you might look a little bit crazy ordering a 20-pound bag of rice off of Amazon, but it does make you feel better to feel prepared. Although I am highly optimistic about the future, I know in the back of my mind, I'm ready for what could happen. Hopefully nothing happens, but if it does, I got lots of rice. Last but not least, the most important thing that has helped me ease a lot of my fear and anxiety throughout this situation is to lean on your support system. Although you cannot physically see each other or hold each other or hug each other, you can still call each other, you can still FaceTime each other, you can still virtually get together on Zoom and talk to the people you love. They are there for you. They want to help you feel better. They want to hear how you are doing. And if you feel like there is no one who is willing to listen, there is a hotline that I'm going to link down here for you guys for people dealing with anxiety. It is completely free, it is completely anonymous. Generally, it just feels good to speak things and let them go. Don't judge yourself for feeling anxiety and fear. We are all feeling those things. We are all going through the situation together. And it is okay to just take it one day at a time. That is the only way to go throughout this situation. One day at a time, we are getting through this. A final note on everything I've just said, all of these things did not come easy for me. They all took work. I am constantly, every day, trying to work on myself and my fears and my anxiety. But I do the internal work because I want that positive outcome. And if you are willing and able to do the work, it will help, it will get better. And I am that aggressive friend giving you that big shove to do it. So tomorrow when you wake up, take a big shower and just wash out all the grime and make a to-do list of 3 things that you are going to do that are going to help you with your anxiety. And you don't have to do all 3 of those things today. You don't have to do any of them today. But whenever you are ready to, that list is there. I am rooting for you. We are all rooting for you. I am rooting for myself, and we will get through this. I have been so inspired by seeing how people are coming together, by seeing restaurants that are donating food, by people who are doing grocery shopping for elderly people who don't want to leave their house. Kindness is real, it is happening, and I am very grateful for everyone who has been messaging me and letting me know that I'm in some way, shape, or form helping them out, because that is always my goal. My goal is to grow and to help others grow. And I appreciate you all for watching. I appreciate you all for following me. If you're not already following me, like I said before, go to @SophiaEatsPizza on Instagram, or you can check out my website, www.sophiaeatspizza.com. And I will see you all next week. I'm not sure what my topic is, but we're gonna find out. Bye, everyone.